how to source music. Sorry, just making sure that was where I wanted to start off. So, important key points before we begin. High quality music files. What this means is that if you're in a club setting or basically anywhere with really loud speakers and an actually comprehensive sound system, if you don't have a high quality audio file, it's going to sound really bad. So you need to make sure you are, one, buying your music, or two, getting a high quality download for free if you want to seriously play in a club setting or a festival setting, or even if you have nice speakers at home as a DJ. Going to be very important. So we're going to be talking about how to find that kind of music today. What does high quality mean? It's a WAV or AIFF. This is usually referred to WAV as a WAV file. And so WAV is the current standard for most DJs. Mac users tend to gravitate towards this AIFF a little bit more. But Alex and I are both Windows stans, and so we are WAV all the way. There are some problems you can run into that, but we're going to get into those later. You can get away with MP3s if they are, I believe, 320. If they're 320 megabytes per second, it'll sound passable, but a trained ear will recognize that the MP3 is slightly more shaved down, basically, than a WAV will be. It'll still sound good. You can still get away with it, but there is, to a trained ear, a noticeable difference in quality, at least in my opinion. All right, next sub-point on this. Do not rip your songs, at least if you're going to be performing them. As I mentioned earlier, they just sound really, really bad, and you might even see things like down here where you can have an online website that will convert like a YouTube video or a SoundCloud file to an MP3 for you, or even a WAV, it might say. That's a lie. It might be technically the type of file, but for all intents and purposes, you're not going to get a standard WAV file when you do that, when you use a ripper, basically like pirating software. It's just going to really, really strip away a lot of the dynamic range of that song. So, do not recommend. However, for practice purposes, why not, right? Like, it is a free way to acquire music, and if you're just starting out and learning, I mean, this is what I did, this is what Alex did. We would just find YouTube videos of songs, and we would practice with them. However, that did run us into some problems when we actually started playing real sets, and we had some of our old files on there, and sometimes it was hard to tell, it was hard to tell initially until we played them that the file was very low quality, and so we would kind of exchange a knowing look in those instances. And since then, we're pretty good about making sure our music is organized properly so that it's only the purchased high-quality files that are being used for performance. But if you do want to use it for practice purposes, literally just Google like SoundCloud to MP3 or YouTube to MP3, and there'll be like a bunch of results. Pick the first one, or pick one that appeals to you, and use that, and you can do it that way if you want to. It's very, very easy. Make sure you have a good ad blocker, because you will get like 18 million pop-up ads otherwise on all of those things. Yeah, if you're unconvinced, listen to a rip song on loudspeakers. It's noticeably low quality. Alright, moving down here. Other important thing, get familiar with what sites have what file types. I'm going to get into more of this a little bit later, but the point of this is if you're going to be playing on CDJs or club gear, as it's colloquially called, Pioneer gear is the standard, certain types of tracks, when you load them onto your USB, because you plug in a USB to these devices, usually to load up your songs, certain file types on those USBs won't be read and loaded by the CDJ or XDJ. So, and basically any like standalone units that don't require a laptop to be hooked up to it require a USB stick to convey the information of the songs. If like certain songs are rendered too high quality, it actually won't load them. So here's a quick tidbit that we found out a while back. Let's say you're making a song in Ableton, you're all done, you're super stoked, and you're like, I am going to render this, which basically means like how you produce the song and how you convert it into a singular file that can be shared and whatnot. You'll like 96K, I think, is the highest you can go, and so you'll want to be like, I want the most dynamic range, highest quality version of this song. I'm going to use 96K, plug in to load it in the CDJs. It will not load. I believe that I think 48K is the max that CDJs will recognize. So don't go too crazy. It's still gonna sound good. Let's see. Watch out for Bandcamp. More on this later as well. I'm not a huge fan of Bandcamp, but their default WAV file is I think it's rendered in like 24-bit basically, and 16-bit is the max that Pioneer Gear via USB will load and play. So if you do get a song from Bandcamp, and I've had to before, you need to use a file converter to get it into something that will actually read on the CDJ. But we'll talk more about that later. Yeah, I'll show you that later. Okay. Beatport. Beatport will default to MP3s when you buy a track. So Beatport is basically the main DJ download place on the internet. It's number one for a reason. It's got most everything you need. It is an absolutely kick-ass place to buy music from. And you can buy all kinds of different files. But when you do go buy the file, it's kind of hard to see. But let me see if this will ruin my stream if I actually go to Beatport right now. Let's just make sure this is working in OBS. Cool. Alright, not going to Twitch. I know I'm not going to make that mistake again. Oh, Alex, we never played a rip in a club before. No, but we did at Base Canyon, I'm pretty sure, and on a couple of live streams by accident. Okay, so we're on Beatport, and let's just go, like, right here. Let's say I want to buy this song. It's like Deep End by John Sutton. So I'm going to add that to my cart. I don't know if I'm logged in. Go to the cart. Oh, hi, honey. Yeah, honey never saves me any money on Beatport, but it always pops up. Alright, so right here, boom, MP3. Change that puppy to a WAV. Look at that. 70 cents more. It recently was 50 cents. Curse you, Beatport. But that $2.19 may seem kind of steep for one song. Totally worth it if you're going to be a DJ. That is a noticeable difference in audio quality if you get that WAV. And then the AIFF is available to you as well, which is another cool thing about Beatport, is it's basically made for DJs. And so this is like, hey, whatever you're working with will work with you. So you just do that if you're going on Beatport. All right. Just double check and make sure. Cool. Alex, just like text me exclamation points if the stream does that little tunneling thing again. That's what I'm worried about as I go and like browse the web. Okay, so many songs, especially EDM, are available in free, high-quality format. Yes, true. That's probably like the number one thing you should take away from this stream. I'll dive more into that later. Okay, so those are all the key points. Just a quick recap as I'm scrolling here. Key points. Get high-quality music. Do not rip songs unless you're practicing. Just kind of generally get familiar. You'll want to, and probably will eventually get familiar with what sites are associated with what file types and what you're going to have to do when you download from each individual site. And you can get a lot of it for free, legally for free. I should specify that. You can get a legal high-quality version for free because a lot of artists just put it up for anybody to download, like us, and I'll show you that later. All right. Two processes: discovering and sourcing music. So, what that means basically is, I'm just kind of differentiating with like resume terms of the process of actually finding the music and listening to it for the first time, and then sourcing, which is acquiring it, like actually purchasing the song. Alright, so let's talk about how you find music first, the fun part, because, you know, it's always fun to find a new song. Alright, myriad ways you can find new songs. Here are a few methods Alex and I use. So, we talked about this on our last live stream a little bit, but your Spotify Discover playlist is really an amazing piece of algorithmic technology. I don't actually know how sophisticated it is in the tech terms, but it will give you 30 songs every single Monday that are new songs that you haven't heard before, at least on Spotify. Like, they're not in your liked songs playlist on Spotify, and it's intended to show you music that's based on what you've already listened to that they think that you will like. 52 weeks a year, you get 30 songs to listen through. Very easy to just go through. As you listen through, like or favorite the songs that you resonate with, and add them to your DJ library. So what I do, people do this differently. What I do is I just have one kind of master liked songs list. That's also my personal list that I listen to. And then I'll listen to my Discover Weekly playlist, and then I'll save the songs that I liked, and then eventually I'll go back, scroll through it, and just kind of click through the songs and be like, oh yeah, that one will work, oh yeah, that one will work, and then it's kind of like a two-step process where then I go into my liked songs library. I then purchase the liked songs that I think would work with our DJ sets and that I want to actually buy and add to our DJ library. Alex does it a little differently, and a lot of people do this too, and it probably is better to be honest, but you can make different playlists on Spotify per genre even. That's probably what I would recommend. So let's say you're like DJ songs for sets. You could have a general playlist like my buddy Wallace does that, or you could do, songs for sets electro, song for sets house, song for sets dubstep, and then it's already organized when you want to go and listen to the music, and that'll help you if you're actually crafting a set like a bass set or whatever. You're not going to have everything in one place. I just like that personally because for my leisure, I actually like scrolling through and listening to the songs that I enjoy, and I would like them all there just to have a variety, but it does give me a little more work on the organization end if you choose that method. Alright, yeah, multiple genre-specific playlists on Spotify will get you that head start. Alright, SoundCloud deep dives. Ryan, this actually advice came from my friend Ryan Diamond, who's DJ OP-AMP or op-amp. So I'm going to call this Diamond's Deep Dives. Kind of sounds like Guy Fieri's about to show up. So, Diamond's Deep Dives. Basically, this is how you deep dive on SoundCloud. So, this is a way to find the most obscure things that are still probably going to be kind of banging. So SoundCloud, though less popular nowadays, is still the best way for artists to release music for free, because you don't actually have to pay anything to release music on SoundCloud. So for anyone starting out, and there are a lot of people starting out all the time, it's loaded with hidden gems. So for anyone starting out, they're probably going to be on SoundCloud first. So this is how you do it. This is the pro tip, courtesy of Mr. Diamond. Go to the profiles of some of your favorite artists, click on their like songs, and scroll through those. The premise being that, let's say you really like Liquid Stranger. It's probably a bad example because he owns a label, and so he's going to put on all of his artists. Let's say you really like Blank, like the mid-tempo electro guy. Well, that's kind of a burgeoning genre, right? So you might not know that much other music besides him in that genre. So let's just see what Blank's got on his SoundCloud. Let's see what he likes and see if there's anything cool. This is our SoundCloud, by the way. Feel free to give us a follow. I guess we're not really that active here anymore, but it looks cool and it's good for numbers. So let's find Blank. Looky, there he is, the Australian wonder himself. All right, so let's see what you got here, man. So I'm going to repost right here, and let's see, he reposts like Ray Volpe, Terminator theme. Oh man, okay, so we already got a cool one, right? I'm inherently intrigued in this. The Terminator theme, which I'm assuming is like the movie score to the movie Terminator, with Rewired, which is like the new school way to say remix. Instead of saying remix, you just like make it your own brand. And boom, free download. Look at that. That's what we're looking for. So let's just give this track a listen. I hope this plays through. I'm gonna listen to cool intro. Cool build. Kind of juicy. I wonder if it picks up. Big kind of melodic bass breakdown or bridge. Get a little darker. Build. Okay, so I would actually opt against getting that one because I would want something that crescendos a little bit more. But that's essentially the idea. Like, I just found this cool idea of a song. It's the second one listed under blank that's in his genre. Also, you can get it for free. So and let's just see if this downloads right away. So this is the other thing. Usually, if it's a free download, you kind of have to jump through some hoops. I'm just gonna check my time here because I have to go to work in a little bit. So this is a free download. So in order to get that free download, this is what I have to do here. So connect with SoundCloud. Let's just do that. There's softwares that will prompt you through all of the things you have to do. So you don't actually have to go manually do it. But all right, cool. I'm logging into my account. Yay. I'm logging into my account twice. Let's see if this works. Actually, it might not work because I have. There we go. The software is also often kind of shitty, so be careful with it, but it's not like usually the most well-made thing. Also, this is weird as hell. Okay, well, I'm going to stop doing that. Oh, that's interesting. So you usually do have to leave a comment on SoundCloud on the track that you want to download. So I'm going to be like, what a neat idea. Boom. Let's see if that works. It didn't prompt me through all the other stuff, and boom, there we go. I got it. I'll show you where I put all of my music. I have a folder called Rips because when I used to rip music, that was just the folder I put it on. Now I don't anymore, but I still kind of like the name. I think it's funny. So, bada boom, and there we go. And now I have the song downloading my computer for free. All I had to do was leave a comment on SoundCloud and deal with this kind of annoying software. So that is how you do SoundCloud deep dives, and that's going to really be your best bet for how to get my opinion, the most like OG stuff. You're going to catch artists before they blow up if you're catching them on SoundCloud. Alex also mentioning, everything you spend on tracks can be a tax write-off, so save your receipts for this stuff. I didn't even know that. This is why I love Alex so much, is because his business sense is always so sharp. Good to know. I'm gonna have quite a break next tax season. Coolio. So that's the premise of SoundCloud deep diving. Note on record pools. That is another way to get music. So currently, Alex and I don't subscribe to any record pools. I've looked into it a decent amount, and it's not quite for us at this point. What record pools are these collections of songs where you pay a subscription and then you have either X amount of downloads or unlimited downloads of whatever their database of songs is, either per month or unlimited. So you're paying a subscription per month. And it used to be a record pool because you had to actually upload your own tracks to this website, and then you basically were sharing with people. So you upload some tracks, you get to download other people's. Nowadays with streaming it doesn't work that way anymore, but that's the premise of it. I don't think that there is enough diversity of electronic music on there for me to invest in it. And Alex feels the same. That's kind of where we're at now. When if things open back up and we start doing a little bit more of a mobile business, talking about like weddings and parties and whatever, basically anything that's not for like ravers and clubbers, that's when a record pool will definitely pay off more. They are good. You can get a ton of wide genre variety for all music on a record pool, but if you're kind of a nerd about EDM like we are, it's not going to have, like my test is I'll go search something kind of well known like Knife Party on a record pool. Let's see, and I'll see what tracks they have. Sometimes they don't even have any, and that's indicative of me that like, okay, if they don't have Knife Party, they're probably not going to have that like Terminator remix thing or whatever. And those are the things that I'm looking for. But if you're going to do mobile gigs, a record pool is awesome. I like Mass Pool Digital from what I've said, just like searching through their databases. DJ City is the biggest, and they have some pretty sick remixes there, I have to say. But you're mostly going to get like slightly more synthy remixes of pop songs and mainstream music. But they're still cool, and there's definitely a place for that. That's just not where we're at right now. Alrighty. So that takes us to sourcing. Downloading the music. So let's say you've listen to a song on your Spotify Discover playlist, and you're like, hey, I want to buy this or whatever. Number one step, always go to SoundCloud, search the artist name, and see what you can find. So, like we just saw, I'm glad that we actually had an example of that. Tons of music is available for free download on SoundCloud, because there is incentive for artists, especially when they're starting out, to get their music out there. And so it's kind of a quid pro quo. As you saw, I followed that artist on SoundCloud and left them a comment, and I got their track. So they got some social media clout, and that's an equity in and of itself, and I got their track. And so those are the types of artists and tracks I look for, and so I'm very happy to support, and usually I leave better comments than that. But you're going to find it all over the place. And sometimes really prominent artists put their music up there for free. Like some of my favorite, LS Dream is one of my absolute favorite artists of all time. Everything he makes is for free on SoundCloud. Minnesota, at like one day, just midway through his career, made his entire discography free on SoundCloud. I'm pretty sure it still is. Fibes, dude, if you guys haven't checked out Fibes yet, my goodness. It's drum and bass, but they do drum and bass remixes of like Snoop Dogg and the Gorillaz and stuff, and it's really well done, also for free. So if you need to build a D&B library, do what I did and just download everything Fives does. And then Adventure Club as well, a ton of their songs, I think Zed's Dead is another one I forgot to mention, have a lot of their music for free on SoundCloud still, even though they are headlining tour artists basically. And so it's always worth a shot. You might think, oh, there's no way that blah 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 is going to be on there for free. Well, Adventure Club and Zed's Dead are, at least some of their songs are, so it's worth a Google for 5 seconds for sure. You can also check out artist websites. Oh yeah, all right. So, what's an example of an artist website we could possibly check out? Oh, I don't know. Maybe thereisnodeepstate.com. Let's see here. Sometimes it doesn't load very fast. Come on, it was loading fast earlier. My computer running slow. Let's see. Alex hates paying the government. Me too, man. Don't we all? Okay, let me try this again. Okay, well that loads. I'm just gonna keep talking. So you can go to artist websites. Very frequently, artists will have either their own personal website or a website with the label they're associated with. So, an example of that would be Gravitas Records, of whom Ill Gates is an artist on that label. They do like free music dumps all the time. They're amazing. One of my favorite record labels, just to support because of the fact that they are so generous. And yeah, so you can go to places like that. Here's our website, in case you haven't visited it, thereisnodeepstate.com. So, boom, shout out to Jonah who designed this. So, here, we have a little prompt. Follow or subscribe on one of the following for free downloads. Okay, it's probably not going to let me subscribe, but I'll see how the prompt works. Cool, I think it just lets me. Also, notice right here, this is our Deep State page, but it auto-loaded that I reposted that Terminator song. Pretty cool, right? So that software published that, and it got me the track out of it, but I didn't have to do that myself. So if you don't want to cloud up your SoundCloud page, that's funny, or clog it up, then be wary of that. Like, all of these songs are reposts because I wanted to download them, and so it's just all over the place. But I'm happy to do that and support the artist. Alright, so I went to, even though Jonah didn't set it up so where I actually had to follow, but here is all of our tracks. So like, let's say I want to download Phantasm again. There we go. And boom. Didn't actually download though. Oh, there we go. Sweet. And there we go. Now I already have Phantasm on my computer about 16 or 17 times, so I'm not going to download it again. But there we go. So you can always visit an artist's website, also worth a Google search there. Oh, I'm giving myself instructions. Yep, already did that, Joey. Alright, if you can't get it for free and you want to purchase the track, Beatport is your best bet. So I showed you Beatport earlier. They have a whole bunch of stuff. A quick note on Beatport that I'll jump over to. Sometimes, like, let's see if Quaxin is on here. Sometimes the way they list things and the way things pop up in the search is weird. Okay, so this, I guess Quaxin's unique enough that his is pretty straightforward. But you see how right here, all these guys are all published under different labels. So Quaxin is a up-and-coming artist from Seattle, and so he submits singles to different record labels. And so if I want to go to Dim Mac Records, like Dim Mac Presents New, they listed Quaxin's track, and he listed it from his personal profile as well. So you'll sometimes find multiple versions of the same song on Beatport because the label and the artist will always post it. And so just be careful that you're getting the right one. Sometimes you'll see like a radio edit or the club edit. Radio edits are going to be shorter than the original, and club edits are going to be longer than the original, because club edits are designed to mix in and out of. Whereas the original mix, it will always say original mix if it's the OG initial recording of that song. Alright, so Beatport usually has most stuff. Pretty good for that, but not everything. Again, make sure you buy that WAV file. If you're going to be playing Pioneer gear, which most DJs will eventually. So no Beatport. There's a bunch of other options you can do. Here's what I do. I will actually try and write this out. There we go. So my favorite options are, one, Google Music. They have a very wide variety of songs. If you have your Google account already linked up to Chrome, it makes it very easy. It was almost weirdly easy. Like if you've ever purchased anything or your card is attached to your Google account, you can just buy the song and it doesn't really give you any prompts to like fill out card information. You just have it, which is almost like too easy and weird. It's so easy that it's weird. But Google Music, I'm not sure if they only have MP3s. Google Music Wave. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. So I like them. I also just like them as a company more than Amazon, which is the last step. And I have a Google account. It's easy to buy. So that's one. Google Music. You can also do Apple Music if you're one of those people. I am not. And Bandcamp, I'll jump to that right now. So next would be Bandcamp. And it's only next. Like I never seek out Bandcamp. I'll say that much. I really don't like the fact that they have files that don't play on CDJs always. It's very annoying to me. Their service just isn't very like tight. It's kind of hard to find some things. I've purchased songs on there that I didn't have an account for. I just made a guest purchase, and then I couldn't like go back and try and get a different version of the file. So they don't make you have an account before you buy anything, which means that if you buy it and you want to like re-download it, you can't. I guess I'll just finish that point. So with Bandcamp, 24-bit files is their default. What this basically means is it is a high-quality audio file, 24-bit, but it won't play on CDJs. 16-bit is the maximum bit range that will play on CDJs, and you need to keep that in mind. Bandcamp does not have an option for anything less than 24-bit files. Even their MP3s are 24-bit, and that don't worry about like technical mumbo jumbo. Just know that 24-bit equals no Pioneer gear. And if you do want to convert it, you need to go to a website like this. And this is one that I actually found while making these notes. But this is an audio converter. So this is the one that came most recommended by like Google reviews and stuff. I need to go here soon. And that people use it for ripping CDs, but you can also scale your files to different sizes, so you can make a 24-bit into a 16-bit. But Bandcamp won't do it on their own site. You have to use one of these. And it's all legit. It's a good service, but that's just a note on that. And the last thing, the absolute conclusion, Amazon Music, baby. They have everything. They do. They have everything. I've never not found a song there ever, which is like a bit creepy to me, to be honest. But if all else has failed and you just can't seem to locate that track and you're hell-bent on getting it, go to Amazon Music. I don't know if you have to have a Prime account. I do, so I'm not able to speak on that. But they have, oh my god, I've never found like a remix or whatever. They might, I'm assuming they wouldn't have like that Terminator free download song or whatever, because I don't think that's ever been published. But any song that's ever been published and released before will be on Amazon. I don't know how they do it. It's pretty amazing. But that's your backup. The only caveat is only MP3 files. So as long as you're okay with it being an MP3, which is not going to sound terrible, it's just not going to sound the best it could. Amazon only sells MP3s. They do not have WAV files at all, but they have everything. So that's why it's kind of the last resort if you have to. And that pretty much concludes it. So I kind of got to bounce to work here. And so, hey, what's up, Stan? What's up, guys? Sorry, I haven't been reading the comments here. But thank you for tuning in, everybody. I am sorry to have to do this, but no, I actually haven't tried CDs only released in other country. Oh yeah. Good point, Ryan. So the master is here, the master of finding music, he got this D&B edit of Gold Dust that had to be ripped from a CD that was released in another country, which just is about the most hipster thing I've ever heard. But that's how far you can go. But there are geographic limitations where things are released, and so that can definitely affect where you get them. Anyway, I need to actually go to work now, but I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna publish this video, and didn't play anyone else's music, and I don't think that SoundCloud file is gonna get me in trouble, so this video will stay up for reference. And also this document right here, sorry, Stan, gotta make that bank. This document right here also has the notes from our last tutorial session, the one where we talked about set building. I'm just going to make this the master document for basically any written tutorial that I write down. Anyone who wants this link, I will email it to you. I feel like it should be open sourced. I'm going to be constantly updating it, so anyone can be a viewer of this. Bandcamp does AIFF. I wish that applied to me, but thank you for pointing that out, Ryan. Anyway, so this document, just message me on Twitch or anywhere if you want this, and I will share it with you, and you can follow it as it updates. And this video will also be posted live when I'm done recording. So thank you for watching, everybody. Check us out on Sunday, because we are going to be making a song from scratch, and we're going to be explaining everything that we do along the way. So, that's all. Hasta la pasta, dear friends.